Journalist Rania Khalek was supposed to give a speech on Palestine at UNC this week, but she was disinvited. So UNC Students for Justice in Palestine posted this statement after this happened. They said, after receiving much feedback and after careful consideration, we have decided to cancel tomorrow's event with Rania. We do not endorse nor reject her views on the Syrian civil war, as they remain relatively unclear according to our members' diverse opinions on Rania's analyses. Although Rania was not going to speak about Syria, we understand the Syrian conflict is a contentious issue, and the invitation was met with a lot of anger. We appreciate the concerns of those who have reached out to us, especially our Syrian supporters, and believe her invitation would mistakenly imply Students for Justice in Palestine to hold such views. SJP supports liberation movements for all oppressed people and recognizes their rights to self-determination. Okay, so she's invited to talk about Palestine. There are a bunch of students who, find her views on Syria objectionable. So they cry and they scream and they bitch and they moan and they get her disinvited over her views on a totally unrelated topic. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's like me being invited to give a talk on corruption in our government and the solutions, or me being invited to give a talk on Justice Democrats. And then they go, Kyle, we heard that you're in favor of legalizing drugs, so we're going to disinvite you. Or we heard that you think gambling should be legal or prostitution should be legal. We're going to disinvite you because we disagree with that. So this is the kind of society we're going to have. This is the kind of system we're going to set up. Anybody who's ever said anything that other people find offensive, you're going to be banned if somebody objects. Well, people find anything and everything offensive. And what one person finds offensive is what another person says calls brave truth-telling. So I find, for example, fundamentalist religious views offensive. Should I ban anybody and everybody who wants to give a talk on a college campus who holds religious views? Most people are religious. So it's nonsense. And this is where the idea comes from of, oh, look at these liberals, these snowflakes, these social justice warriors. You need your safe space from your microaggression that you felt. Were you triggered? And you're fucking proving the stereotype true. It's utterly ridiculous. And furthermore, let's keep it real. Rania's views on Syria are not extreme by any stretch of the imagination. She rightly points out, hey, there's a lot of unsavory rebels fighting Assad. Like Assad or not, there was a study that found over half the rebels are jihadists and Islamists. They're extremist groups. It was al-Nusra who changed their name because they were an official affiliate of Al-Qaeda. For somebody to point that out is somebody pointing out facts. That it disrupts your rebels never did anything wrong narrative and Assad is Hitler. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I get it. The whole liberal idea is, we always got to be down for the cause and down for the struggle. And by the way, at the end there of the statement here, they kind of let you know. They gave you a little wink and a nod as to where they stand on the Syrian conflict. We support liberation movements for all oppressed people and recognize the right to self-determination. So that's them saying, yeah, we're with the Syrian rebels. We're not with the Syrian government. So therefore, since Rania has criticized the rebels very substantively and critically, we're not gonna let her come speak. Well, that's silly, and it shows you actually can't even engage on that debate. Because when Rania rightly points out that the majority of the Syrian rebels are Islamists and jihadists, and that despite all the terrible flaws of the Syrian government, and as bad as Assad is, it's a secular socialist state, you have no rebuttal to that. So what do? Just shut her down. Ban her, don't let her come, don't let her come. It exposes our ignorance on that issue. Even though, by the way, it doesn't, because she's talking about Palestine, she's not talking about Syria. So enough of this garbage. And by the way, where's everybody who says they're a free speech warrior? Where are you? Are you going to defend Rania? No, you're not going to defend Rania. The only time there's ever national news about, oh my God, look, they're protesting a conservative talker, look how against free speech they are, is when it's a conservative. Because conservatives all rise up and they get angry about it, and then it makes news. The media won't pay any attention to this. Liberals won't care, even though what we have in this situation is a secular, Arab, leftist woman who was censored and banned and disinvited and shut down by people who are sympathetic to mostly ultra-conservative rebels, mostly Salafist rebels. So they think they're being liberal. They're not. They're being conservative, and they're being authoritarian, and they're silencing dissenting views. And she wasn't even going to talk about those views. It was about something totally unrelated, but they're so triggered by her stance on another issue that we have to ban the woman. Ban the woman from talking. Can't let the woman talk. Can't let the secular Arab leftists talk. You know, you gotta kowtow to the loudest, most obnoxious, most ignorant people in the room who say, I disagree with her on Syria, and I side with the largely extremist rebels, so let's shut her down. What a joke this is. Let her speak. Let her speak. And, you know, if people out there in my audience want to take initiative on this, and I don't know if UNC has a Twitter account, but if they do, tweet at them. I don't know if UNC Students for Justice in Palestine has a Twitter account, but if they do, you tweet at them. Or you go to their website and you leave a comment or something, because this is garbage. This is nonsense. This is ridiculous. They disagree with her on something, so they're just going to ban her. No, let's be consistent. Let's actually stand up for free speech across the board here, and also recognize the extra layer of absurdity that she isn't even talking about that issue and they banned her. What a joke.